Hey, buds. Thank you for tuning into today's episode when you can literally be doing anything else.
If you guys are somehow liking the content that we're putting out for you guys weekly, please feel free to leave a like or a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcast.
And if you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube at the Fantasy Buds Podcast. You can leave a like or comment, and you can subscribe to us.
And if you even for some reason decide you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Fantasy Buds Podcast to keep up with all of our daily advice and shenanigans.
Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoy the show.
Like, I've defended you all year. I've stuck by you. I started you every fucking week. I could have played, like, Marcus Mariota because that was my only option. And a lot of weeks, Marcus did better than you. And you fucking fucked me. I squeaked by in round 1 against a fucking 6 seed. And then you can't even do dick in round 2. I gave you a second chance. And you fucking blew it. Ugh. So he's a 0.
Welcome back, buds, to the Fantasy Buds Podcast. We hope your Christmas was filled with lots of gifts and love and fantasy success. How was your Christmas, gentlemen, since we had a bye week?
It was actually really good. How about you guys?
It was good.
How was
Pretty
it?
good.
It was good.
Did you guys get everything you wanted from Santa?
I did.
Yeah, well, I wanted 3 things from Santa, and that was 3 championships, but I only got 1. I'll take it.
At least you have the chance to win 1.
I have the chance to win 1.
Because you could have no chances to win any of them.
Yeah, you could have none,
Like
0.
some
Yep.
people here.
like literally the same amount of as our producer.
You know
Yeah.
what, though? This is Tim. I'm still upset, by the way. I'm still upset about this. A couple years ago, Tim cracked my ass in the championship of R1 League. And that was after everybody. I was up by like 100 points. Everybody's like, "Oh, great job, Mark! You finally won. You got." And I was like, "Tim still has all his best players left to play.
3 guys: Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and Pat Mahomes.
His whole team. Like I'm like, he still has his best guys. And that's like saying, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna try to make it. You busted my ass. What a shock! The game's passed. Devontae Adams played on Sunday night. Diggs played on Monday night. Those 2 games passed. 50-40 loss for me. Shocker. His best players played, and he won.
And everybody was like, "Congratulations,
Everybody was
Mark."
like, great, and I was like, no, it's not over yet. It's in Tim won, and congratulations. Tim won fair and square. But I'm still upset.
But now,
And now, after all this time later, Tim needs 7 points from DeAndre Hopkins on Sunday night. Another legendary receiver gonna bust my ass on Sunday night on Tim's team. Somehow, some way, Trace McSorley,
sucks.
to be honest.
Trace
Sucks.
McSorley.
Trace McSorley sucks.
No, I
I
kind
Penn-
of.
hope,
Penn State legend.
I have some solace knowing that if it was any other quarterback starting, Mark would have lost.
I was kind of.
Yeah.
But
Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler probably would have. Hopkins did it with Brock Osweiler. He was the number 1 wide receiver in the league. So.
To be honest, I was watching that game, and I kind of like almost felt bad for DeAndre Hopkins. Like
Yeah.
with like
I
how
had
That was low.
a feeling
like
going into it to where when the first 2 drives ended and there was 3 minutes left in the first quarter, and he had nothing, I was like, this motherfucker's gonna beat me.
so
He's
just
gonna
for some
fucking wind up
context,
beating me.
because the 5 people watching this don't really have the context that
Yeah.
we have.
Maybe 3.
Tim was down by, I want to say it was about 20 points with Latavius Murray,
I was down
and
by
Hopkins.
25
like 21 or 25.
with Aaron Jones, Latavius Murray, and DeAndre Hopkins.
So Aaron Jones does nothing. And I'm like, all right, sometimes Aaron Jones has games like this where he does nothing. I'm like, Latavius Murray's good for 10 at least because he's starting. And I'm sure Denver and the Rams will be an ugly game. Oh, it was an ugly game. All right.
Nathaniel Hackett.
For one side. Oh,
Also,
also-
Nathaniel Hackett is fired. He got fucking canned.
in his first year. You know what? To be
Good.
I hope his Christmas sucked. To be
Good.
honest. I do.
Because he fucking sucked the life out of every fantasy success from the Denver Broncos this year that I put a lot of fucking stock into.
We all did.
We all did. And you know what? He'll be fine. He's got probably millions of dollars. His family will be fine. He's not going to be homeless. He'll be fine. He'll get like a coordinator job somewhere.
Still
He'll be
fuck him,
fine.
but-
fuck him.
Congratulations.
He didn't deserve to be a head coach. He never deserved to be a head coach, and he ran that team right into the ground. And he got canned for it, and rightfully so.
Congratulations, Broncos fans.
So
You have to suffer
yeah.
a little bit less
you can
now.
you can go back to what episode was it? 8?
8.
Episode
Fuck
8.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Fuck Nathaniel
That's what it's
Hackett
called.
episode title, and you can see our earlier rant this season about him. And I wore a T-shirt that said "Fire Nathaniel Hackett." I sold it for like $100. I'm lying.
Did you?
No, I'm lying. No, I'm kidding. I don't even know where it is now. I think I might have thrown it out because he disgusted me that bad. But anyway,
He's
you
gone.
should check out that episode and watch our rant about him and see how the rest of the season unfolded with his fucking ass,
Yeah.
his bald ass.
But-
so
Before we go into that, like, oh my God, it was close between me and you. That's why I'm really not even mad.
It was like a,
It's 'cause
a
I
ch-
didn't-
punching.
Yeah,
match.
it was like fucking, what is it, Rocky versus Drago.
Creed.
Like, it was just fucking haymaker.
We were the 2 highest scoring teams in the league
Yeah.
as
And,
well.
I
Me
mean,
being 1 and you being 2.
33 from George Kittle, 29 from T. Higgins, 26 from Burrow, 15 from Metcalf. Didn't matter. Justin Jefferson, 34. CeeDee Lamb, 37.
So just to go back to, Latavius Murray does nothing.
Does
Denver
dick.
gets rinsed,
Does dick.
embarrassed by Baker Mayfield and the Rams. They get embarrassed. So I'm like, all right, Tim is down by 7, and he has DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I'm like, there is no way. I'm already like mentally preparing myself to lose. Like, I'm not gonna win. Like, even with Trace McSorley, I'm like, I'm not winning. Like, there's no way. Then the first quarter goes by, 0. I'm like, all right. Like, he's gonna get 7. Like, there's
at
no
some
way.
point, they're gonna just hyper target.
They're gonna
one
hyper
drive.
target him on one drive.
yeah.
and
And the
then
next quarter passes. We're at the
0.
second. We're at the first half, and now
Yeah, one target.
0.
And I was like, oh.
I'm like, yo, I can
God.
actually do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this actually gonna happen?
Yep.
Is this actually gonna happen? The third quarter passes. 0. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Don't
there's
tease
no
me.
way. Don't tease
when
me
the,
with
when
this.
the fourth quarter came along, I was like, all right, this is where it's going to be just Hopkins.
yeah,
Hopkins,
it's gotta
Hopkins.
be, right? Like, it's got.
I was like, it's going to happen. And I was watching for a little bit. I was like, you know, maybe I just got to watch the game.
They
Maybe
were
that'll
targeting
do it.
him.
yeah,
And they were targeting him.
But his
and then
targets
they got
sucked.
into the red zone, and he was
He was open
wide open.
on that.
Like, literally, if he would have just caught that, I won. That one catch would have been a 20-yard touchdown. I would have won.
I know your reaction. You're just like,
What happens? What happens? McSorley just stands there. Stands there.
7th round pick for a reason.
Stands there. It's like slow motion. I'm convinced fucking D-Hop was like in The Sims when they like trying to say he's fucking open. And nope. Just stands there. Stands there. Dude comes off the edge. Runs the opposite way. Second I saw him take off the opposite way, I was like, he's fucking done. Yep, just throws it away. I was like, that's it. Turned it off, went to bed. Knew it was over.
oh my
Fucking
god,
horrible.
Dude, and I felt bad because like you could just see the frustration on DeAndre Hopkins'
Dude,
face.
like
and it's
10 targets.
you,
He got targeted 10 times. That right there, DeAndre Hopkins isn't one of the wide receivers when he has that many targets. He's only going to have one catch.
and it's
Like, it's not his fault.
DeAndre Hopkins isn't like an asshole either. Like he
No.
doesn't like he's not like me. Like he's
Yeah.
not so like but I actually felt bad watching it because like I do like DeAndre Hopkins. Like I felt bad watching him just I've been there as an athlete before where just nothing is going your way in a game and like you feel like you're doing everything you can and it sucks. And like I felt bad. But no. Fuck you. I'm still upset and this is payback for that.
Yep.
I will
'Cause
never
this
forget.
win was total bullshit, and I'm admitting I should not have
I
won.
will never forget
And
it.
you know what? I should have won.
No,
the
I'm glad. I
championship.
am glad you won
And-
because now
and,
we're
like,
even.
We're
But
even now.
I just
after that.
can't. I'll never forget when I won because I really did think it was over. Like I was like, I'm down by 90. There's no fucking way. It's snowing in Green Bay.
I low key thought it was over.
snowing in Green Bay. I was like, they're not gonna throw it. Like I literally said, I need Devontae
Devontae
Adams if I can get his name right.
40.
Devontae
I was like,
Diggs.
I need him. Yeah. I was like, I need him to get at least 30.
We got 40.
I was like,
think.
maybe they'll each get 30. I mean, it's possible. If they each get 30, I win. It's fine. Mahomes got like 27. I was like,
He had like
shit.
30. Mahomes.
Yeah, I was like, all right, it's possible. And then I was at work watching it. And we had it on the kitchen. I was like, oh, Devontae Adams scored a touchdown. When I walked out of the kitchen, walked back in, I was like, oh, Devontae Adams scored another touchdown. I walked out of the kitchen, walked back in. I'm
Oh,
like,
DeAndre.
Devontae Adams got another touchdown.
Look,
I
I think
looked
he had
at
like
the
50,
score.
I think.
I looked at the score, and he had like 14 receptions for 176 yards and 3
I
touchdowns.
think he had like 40.
and he had like 47 points, and I was like,
47. So
I was like, oh shit,
that
like,
was,
it's
yeah.
possible.
Like,
Now I just
oh.
need Diggs to get like 20 something, 40.
So I
Again,
was,
I had 2 wide receivers who both wide receivers had over 10 receptions, over 140 plus yards, and 3 plus touchdowns.
dude, that game, that Bills-Patriots game on Monday night,
There's
literally,
Diggs,
it was
Diggs,
Stephon
Diggs,
Diggs.
Diggs.
It was like I gave like my little brother the Madden controller and was like, here, play a little bit. Like it was just Diggs, every play. And yeah, but no, this is revenge for that. We're even now.
Well, say it there.
I'm glad you guys.
It's a
I'm
good
Congratulations.
Our
now
rivalry
even.
is even.
Yep.
And now I get to play against Joe. Fuck you, Joe. Good luck, but fuck you.
I'm glad you guys got that out.
Yeah. So
So-
now, what about you, Brian? You're going to the championship
Well,
in
hold
the
up.
TJ League,
We'll get to that in a
or
second,
we could
actually.
talk about the dynasty.
Well, why
league
don't we
if you
talk?
want.
Why don't we finish? Let's breeze over the rest of the free agency playoffs since
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I forgot.
that was the matchup you guys
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, I forgot.
So-
Actually, I got
So
so
the
caught
final
up.
score between me and Mark was he had 135, I had 129.
14 teams. We were the
14
two
teams.
highest scoring teams this
Yeah.
week.
So Tim beat me in the first round. Mark beat Max in the first round. Luca beat Cam, and Joe was the only one with the bye since 7 teams make it, 1 bye.
Yep.
Then
Setting
it
up the
was
semifinals.
Luca and Joe. That was 126 to 123.
That was
Joe
a
gets
crazy
the edge
game.
over Lucas. That was Austin Eckler versus
Keenan Allen.
Yep.
and Joe had a 2-point lead going into the game, and he finished the game winning by 3. Austin Eckler had 23, and Keenan Allen had 24.
His best game all year, Keenan Allen.
Like if Keenan Allen had, let's say, 1 less catch without that 100-yard bonus, Luca's in the championship.
And it's like, it sucks because Luca, I was rooting for him. Not
Yeah.
only because, look, I'm being genuinely honest, I liked my matchup more against Luca. Luca is our commissioner, and he's never won in this league. We've been doing this league for like a decade now. So, like, I was
Yeah.
kind of rooting for
I
him.
was
To be
rooting
fair,
for
though,
him,
I think
too.
this is the furthest he's ever made it, right?
This is the
yeah, it
furthest.
is.
I think it's the furthest.
He didn't win a playoff game up until this point.
And I really thought that he was going to win, especially after James Conner went off for him,
yeah.
who we're going to talk about later as well. But 126 to 123.
That's just heartbreaking.
that hurts.
That does hurt. But
That-
that's the name of the game, man.
and it's
and-
like TJ Hawkinson at 38, for who we're
Yeah.
also going to talk about later.
Yeah, when you get like 30, like that much from your tight end, or like that much from any player, and it just goes to waste.
Yeah, and it's like Joe
Almost.
has Josh Allen and Derrick Henry, and they both had 22, but like in terms of like them, like, they didn't have over 30.
Yeah, and not
Like,
only
not like they went crazy.
yeah, and not only that, he had -3 from his defense. What really killed Luca was the 1 point from Adam Thielen and,
and
the
Noah
1
Brown.
point from Noah Brown. So like,
Oh, and if Luca starts Algier, he wins. Or even Pira, but like, why would you start Samaje Perine? You don't.
Once
Yeah.
Mixon came back, it
Right,
was-
so like,
You
I don't
don't.
blame you. But Tyler Algier, like,
I probably would have played. I
over
would have
Noah
put.
Brown.
I would have put Evans over Noah Brown and put Algier in the flex if I had that lineup. In all honesty, but
it sucks
yeah,
for
I agree
Luca.
with you.
Yeah,
but
because Algier had 25 last week.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like, it really fucking sucks for Luca. I was actually rooting for, because like, if I'm going to lose in the championship, I'd rather lose to Luca than fucking Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. But like, I'd just rather lose
just
to
because
Luca.
of what works out for Joe in fantasy.
Yeah, because Joe makes me sick, like a little bit.
like Josh Jacobs and Tony Pollard just
and
become
Jamal
top 10
Williams, like,
backs.
no, like, fuck you, Joe. Sorry.
To be fair,
like,
though,
no.
that's always the
Like-
team that wins. It's the team that just gets fucking lucky, unless you're Big B. But oh no, you beat him.
Yeah, why don't we touch on that? Because
Oh, the fall of the 12-2 team.
So me versus Joe in the 14-team league championship.
yes.
Yes.
And who's got the advantage?
I don't know
Who's
yet. I don't
projected
think
to
it
win that?
says who's projected to win. It doesn't say yet, but Joe is probably going to be projected to win because he has Josh Allen and Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Tim was also projected. Tim was actually projected to smoke me. He was projected
I
like
think at
by
one
10%.
point I was projected to win like 163 to like 130 or like 108 or some
So
shit.
I don't know yet. Joe has a good team for a 14-team league. I'm nervous about our matchup, but it'll be good. It'll be
I
fun.
just-
I think it'll be fun.
I'm glad to be playing in final.
I keep having flashbacks to when I was looking at the group chat, and all I see is Mark in all caps say, "I need DeAndre Hopkins to get shot."
Oh my god. Not actually though.
Not actually.
Not actually.
Not actually. We love DeAndre Hopkins.
Just kidding. So the feds
I
don't
have
know.
him. I have him
So-
every year. I take him every year. I love that man.
So let's go over to TJ Lee.
Oh yeah, and this is the big
I'm
money.
not
league.
even gonna
So
talk about fucking this one. That's all you, gentlemen.
so
Oh,
yeah.
it's not me either. It's all Brian here.
So
Justin Jefferson wasted away.
since we last met, we were talking pre-playoffs or heading into the playoffs. So these matchups didn't happen. So first round, Big B was the number 1 seed, had the bye. Dave was the number 2 seed, had the bye. So it was me versus Brandon as the 4 and 5 seed. I'm 4, he was 5. Mark versus Joe. Joe was 3, Mark was
You can
6.
just forget about that game.
Mark was 7-0 and finished the
I have
season.
not won a game since
Didn't
then.
literally like imagine being 7-0. Like anybody listening, just picture this: you're 7-0, and somebody walks up to you and just says, "You're not going to win a game the rest of the year." What do you? You're just going to punch
No,
that
dude,
person
I'm
in the face.
convinced
You're
there
like,
was some sniper picking off my players.
yeah. Well, you
in
just
that
got
league.
at once you hit 7-0, you lost.
Injury,
Everybody.
injury. Like,
So you were
We've
a
talked
bye in the first round.
pretty much for Joe. So yeah, fuck you for that too,
Yeah.
Joe.
You could see the underlying feelings there towards Joe. So Joe smoked him 147 to 104. There was not any.
At least my team broke 100
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least you did.
for the first time, and I don't even know how long.
And then I fucking smoked Brandon 163 to 122. I was the highest score in the first round. So we move on to the second round. I'm thinking, here we go. I'm going to lose to the fucking eventual champion, just like the year prior. I'm the 4 seed playing the 1 seed, Mr. 12-2, Mr. over
2,100 points.
20. That's a record in our league.
Poor Big B.
Fucking, he was on a 6-game win streak at this point. Just has broken 130, 140 every single week. Like he was one of the only teams in the entire league that broke 100 every single week. Everybody at least had 1 week under 100, except for this guy. And I pulled off the fucking upset.
Always happens, dude. There's
One-
fucking super teams that always have that win.
Seriously.
They always lose, like
Buy
every
teams,
time.
buy teams, and the top teams. It's the same thing in the NFL. Like you always, how many times do the 1 or 2 seeds get knocked out?
Pretty
And
often.
It's like the 3 or 4 seed that makes it.
I don't think the 1 seed has ever won in our league, unless was Brandon the 1 seed last year.
Yeah.
He was the
No,
1
I-
seed.
I'm pretty sure he was.
So when I won in 2019, me and Matt both had the bye. Was he the 1 seed or was I? the
I
1 seed?
don't know.
I don't
To
remember.
be honest, I don't remember.
I-
I know Brandon was the 1 seed last year.
He was the one.
He
He
was
was the 1
was
seed.
I-
So
Okay,
then, out of
so-
all the years we've on it, the 1 seed's won once.
that we remember.
That we remember.
so far.
Well, now I know for a fact in free agency, the 1 seed's never won.
Oh,
That I know
yeah.
for a fact. The 1 seed has never won in free agency.
Never won. So I'm heading to the fucking
Which means congratulations on their loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Joe's the 1 seed.
yeah.
No,
Congratulations.
Joe's the 1 seed. This
Joe's
year,
the-
Joe had the bye.
Yeah.
No, I'm the
Yeah,
2 seed,
Joe
and Joe
had
was
the
the 1
bye.
seed. In this league, though,
That's
the
a
1
first
seed,
two then. I think that's the first time it's ever been the 1 and 2.
the 1 seed is out in TJ though. Big
Yeah.
B, poor Big B. Big B was fucking
He was
pissed.
sick. I was with him.
I mean, like I can't really blame him for being so pissed off.
Because like when you win 12 games, and you have Josh Allen, Travis Kelce, Austin
Tyreek
Eckler,
Hill.
Tyreek Hill, like you're
Fucking
expecting
Jerick
to win.
McKinnon, who was
as you should.
snapping.
Yeah,
Like,
and somehow, so I have a lot of playoff heroes, and we'll actually get into that later. So
Yeah.
I'll just save the time on that one. So Dave is the 2 seed playing Joe is the 3 seed, and he beats Joe 126 to 101. I will be playing Dave in the championship.
yeah,
4
I'm
seed
sorry.
versus the 2 seed.
I'm sorry, but I'm pulling for Dave.
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Everybody
got to.
is because
I want
Brian's
him
won
to-
before.
I want somebody new to win it.
And
It's
Dave-
nothing against you.
I know.
If you were playing anybody else,
I don't
like
blame you.
literally anybody else, I'd be rooting for
I
you.
do the same
But
thing.
because it's Dave, I gotta.
This is
I gotta.
Dave.
I have a
root for
target
the
on
dude
my
that's
back, I
never
know.
won it.
This is Dave's first appearance in the championship in our league.
Yep.
So congratulations, Dave.
And this is my 3rd in 5 years.
This is why, like, I mean, think about it. Would you want Brian to win? No,
Don't let me get hot.
of course not.
Don't let me get hot. That's all I'm going to
As soon
say.
as Brian's team started getting hot towards the end of the year, I'm like, this motherfucker is gonna.
Well, look, hey, you know what? I'm going to pull Kobe.
There's nothing to be happy about. Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
So we have Brian versus Joe, or Dave, I mean.
I will be playing Dave, and Dave has the home field advantage, 3-point advantage. That's our one of our league rules. And I'm either going to be really upset at the end of this week or really ecstatic. No in between.
Yeah. That's
So
what it comes down to.
like for me, I've already won, so making the championship, like, honestly,
Making
Like-
the championship is pretty great.
it is great. Like, so, like, the way I look at it, I've already won $100, but no, okay. No, it's just funny. I just hear this crinkling.
No, just well,
like,
Dude,
it's just
Big E
quiet for a sec-
outscored the worst team by 600 points.
Yeah,
That's fucking
Ridiculous.
insane.
he had fucking 4 more wins than anybody else in the entire league,
I
and
would have
now-
jumped off a roof if I was Big B.
and
I
he's
lost.
out. He's out now.
so Dynasty.
Dynasty though,
So we all
had some.
had matchups with each other somewhere.
Tank
Yeah.
season, baby. Tank
Tim
season.
and I played each other in the semifinals in our 14-team league. We've been doing together since high school. Brian and I actually also matched up against each other
In the
in the
semis.
semifinals in our Dynasty league that we've also been doing, I think, since
This
the
is
year
our
after
5th year.
high school.
No,
Or 2 years after high school. we
yeah, this is
started.
our 5th year though.
So it's our 5th year doing it. This is another league where I guess it's just my year to be lucky in the playoffs this year because Brian was also down by like 25?
33. I
33.
needed 34 from Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen.
And I'm like, all right, Justin Herbert could easily get 26 on his own. And
Sucks.
Keenan Allen is like due for like 15. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm boned. Keenan Allen, literally last night, it was like he was getting thrown to every single possession.
yeah, but Herbert,
Nonstop.
2 fucking turnovers. He finishes with 8 points. Like,
I thought I was done though.
it's just, I'm honestly glad I was even in this position because I lost Cooper Kupp. But I'm also, making it in TJ kind of takes away from that. I would probably be more upset
Yeah.
if I didn't make it anywhere. More about this league because, like, I truly believe in my team. Like, I believe it's honestly stacked. Yours is more, honestly, a little bit more stacked than mine because you have CeeDee Lamb, Davante Adams, and Jamar Chase, and Christian McCaffrey, and Joe Mixon, and George Kittle, and Ramondre Stevenson, and
Look,
fuck you.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole. I was kind of fucking due for this.
Yeah, you were.
In
I'll admit.
Dynasty.
I'll give you
Like,
that. You were
my
down.
team is like, I'm like that one team in every sport where like they're all, if like anybody watches hockey, I am the Washington Capitals before 2018. Like I am them before that. Like they would just playoffs, conference finals, semifinals, every single, not the conference finals actually. It was
President's
just
Trophy,
semifinals,
President's
President's Trophy, which
Trophy.
is the best team in the league, best record in the league.
And Pittsburgh Penguins, Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh,
Penguins.
those fucking Penguins. but just like and like for me, the Penguins are Dean and Tom and this motherfucker.
No,
Like
but
those are
it
the
was
Penguins.
one of those when
So-
you knew when they beat the Penguins, you were like, they're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
Once
So-
you beat that team
And
that
I
holds
beat
you
this
back,
motherfucker. Now,
once you beat that
and
team that holds you
Dean's
back,
done. I got no Dean. He's out.
Oh,
he's done.
And he
Oh,
fucking
Dean,
lost by a cunt hair. I'm telling you.
a literal
literally.
con hair.
Literally.
Like 0.2.
it was like
130
0.24.
139.70 to 139.46. That's what he lost.
Dean.
To Gabe /
I
Cam,
would
the 2 managers
be
of this team.
Livid.
Uh,
I hate decimals. I'm so glad we don't do decimals in our league. I'm so glad.
just
Oh my god.
Like I mean, I would throw the fuck up. If
Oh,
I
would-
if we if oh,
I would have
man.
like this just awful,
Yeah, like
awful fucking feeling in the center of your soul if I lost like that.
Dean literally lost by 3 yards.
3 yards.
3 yards. That was it.
He needed 3
He
yards.
needed 3 total yards from his entire team besides his defense, and he would have won.
Just- like
3 fucking yards.
I don't feel as bad for him though, because
No, I don't feel bad.
he's
for him.
won so much
Yeah, he's
anyway.
got-
So You know
Yeah,
what?
fuck him.
He's
Yeah,
like fucking
fuck him.
Thanos.
Fuck
With
him.
he's like fucking Thanos with the
Love
Infinity
you, Dean,
Gauntlet.
but
Like,
fuck
he's
you.
got,
Yeah, like I mean, I do love him.
Yeah.
But
love him to death.
Wonderful guy. Love him.
one of the but like yeah, fuck you.
But so now Mark will be playing.
Cam/Gabe.
Yeah, you're playing against two people basically. I mean, Cam doesn't even fucking.
I like
it's
the odds.
just so.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, I think I like your chances against. I mean, you beat my team, so I'm rooting for you.
If
now.
I can't win
I want to lose to the champion
with this fucking team, I don't know what the hell I have to do in Dynasty. Like,
yeah, because it's
I-
star-studded, like literally.
I've gone to the championship before and lost to Dean.
Yeah.
And like I make the playoffs. I actually have the best winning percentage since we started the Dynasty League
Yeah,
in
you
the
have-
whole league.
In like
And
5
I-
years, you have like 46
and-
wins.
Jack, the show for it. Dick, the show for it.
Dick.
So far. No, I'm ready this year.
It's time.
This
Ring,
is-
ring me, baby.
I'm ready. I'm ready. And free agency too. I don't care. I'm ready.
Well, shit.
So now that we've mentioned our playoff success,
Yeah.
some successes and some failures,
Why don't we talk about some heroes and
some
zeros?
guys who helped get us there.
Heroes and zeros. So guys that helped us and maybe helped the listeners as well.
The 5 people.
The 5 people. You want to go one by one, or should we just name them all? And
You
then
go one by one.
Yeah, go one by
let's
one.
start off with Kirk Cousins, who has been pretty fucking stellar in the playoffs.
Like insane.
Like
actually.
insane.
Like he might have won you a game last week.
Last week especially, when the Vikings were down 33-0 at the half and won 39-36 by the end of overtime.
Vintage
What?
Matt Ryan.
What the
like
fuck?
that?
Like Matt Ryan outdid himself.
That's just Matt Ryan football
Somehow.
right there.
So Kirk Cousins had 460 yards and 4 touchdowns with 41 points in fantasy last week, round 1. And then this week, he was 1 yard short from getting that 300-yard bonus. He could have had 30 points again, but 299 and 3 for 23, which is, I mean, you're taking
Solid.
that. You're taking that from your quarterback
He's
every
the QB,
time.
He's the QB7 on the year. So.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
You're especially taking that from Kirk Cousins, who was a guy who was probably dropped at certain.
Yeah.
Well, I dropped him in one of my leagues at one point.
You either took him with the last pick in your draft, or you picked him up off waivers. Like,
Yeah.
Or like Mark, you've dropped him probably multiple times. He's just been a streamer.
and he has
He
had
has
a really
been.
good year. 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns.
And
Now-
overall, throughout the year, he actually hasn't been great.
Yeah.
Not until the playoffs now. So somebody like lost Jalen Hurts or
Yes.
or lost Lamar Jackson and then went to Kirk Cousins for help.
that asshole.
He's coming to save the day.
He
So,
is. He is saving the day for sure. If you picked him up, you are very happy right now.
And another guy I don't really want to mention because we're Eagles fans, but you got to give credit when credit's due. Mr. Dak Prescott, 20 and 30 the last 2 weeks. Like,
And like I get 20's not great,
but
but
From a
30.
QB, you'll take that, though.
Yeah, you'll take it. And like 30, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'll happily take that any day of the week for my QB, especially like you said, if you lost Jalen Hurts. Because Dak Prescott was a guy who probably was on waivers. He
because
missed a big chunk of the year.
not only that, but even the month prior to that, 18, 25, 14,
So
16.
average.
Just not giving you very much. But if you had a decent team around that
Yeah.
and you just added Dak Prescott to your lineup because you were desperate for a quarterback, he's also coming to save the day. 256 and 3 for 20, 347 for 3 for 30 against Philadelphia, beating us. So I mean, whatever.
Now
We beat you guys with Cooper Rush. You beat us with Gardner Minshew.
They even the
Suck
odds.
my
It's
dick.
like
How
me
about
and-
that?
they
Like,
even the odds. It's
Yeah.
like me and Tim
we won at home. You won at home. I mean, that's
playing against you. We beat your backup and you beat our backup. We are gonna play them in the playoffs. It's
You
just
think?
destiny. Yeah, we're gonna end up. It's gonna be the tiebreaker.
I'm going to tell you right now
We're
what's going to
gonna-
wind up happening. Eagles are going to clinch. Dallas is going to face Green Bay because Green Bay will run the table, wind up winning out, making it. Yet again, Aaron Rodgers will beat Dak Prescott.
That's a
in the
hot
fucking
take.
playoffs
I do think that's very
because
spicy.
Dak just sucks in the playoffs.
That is Fresno chili
That
spicy.
is true. But
sucks in the playoffs.
to be fair, if we're separating the biasness,
Yeah, we do have to be fair.
we haven't seen Jalen Hurts be great in the playoffs
No,
yet.
absolutely. That's well. I
So we
look
would
at
have
it-
to see that.
He's
You're
only
not gonna
played
beat
in
a
one.
team. You're not going to beat a team 3 times in 1 year.
No.
You're not.
No,
There's
I'm
shot. I would
actually-
have rather us lost now If we face him in the playoffs, which I really don't think we're going to, because I really do think Dak's going to choke like Dak always does.
I think the only way we
I think
played him
we
is in the
will,
NFC
but
Championship.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
we'll
saying.
play them at some point.
I think we'll wind up playing them, and if we do see him in the NFC Championship, great.
But Dak has been a superhero for you
Oh yeah, absolutely.
in your fantasy playoffs.
Also, Mr. Saquon Barkley has returned to form
Yeah, because he was making me a little nervous
because,
for a week or two there.
like, look at this. The last month, 5, 14, 18, 6. But then you go into let's say you squeaked back in because you were little, like, cold, like Mark's team. I mean, your team was hopeless to begin with anyway. Like,
it's hopeless.
he,
Yeah,
he,
it's-
he couldn't have done anything for you. But that being said, 18 for 87 and 1 for 22 points. He had 14, 84 for 126. He scored both playoff games.
he also had 8 catches
8 catches.
this past week.
So, look, if you were cold going in with Saquon Barkley, he woke up for you, and
And-
hopefully he came through. Because
The only
he's a playoff
reason
hero
why
right now.
we keep mentioning if you're cold is because I don't know if it's just coincidence, but it seems like every team with Saquon Barkley on it was pretty cold going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've had him, and my team was cold.
Yeah, like I mean, Big B in the free agency league, my team in the TJ league, like,
Yeah.
it was all teams that were cold. But if you had a decent team around him, he woke the fuck up for you.
Yeah,
for
or
sure.
and if you just squeaked in, like that's all that matters in the fantasy playoffs. You just got to make it. That's it.
Yeah.
Just
I
make
am really happy that Saquon Barkley had a great year this year. I do like Saquon Barkley. He's local, Penn State. Like he does play for the Giants, but like I honestly like root for him. I do like him.
He's also just like a beautiful specimen. Like just
He just looks
Not a-
good when he plays.
not an ounce of body fat, just fucking chiseled.
He looks
he's
like an
just-
Avenger.
I'm
yeah,
just glad
like he looks like a
didn't-
superhero.
Yeah,
for
I'm
fuck's
just glad
sake.
we actually got to watch him play.
Yeah.
And he didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
it's like he's always been good. It's just
He
they
is.
never had a line for him. He get hurt. All this stuff. It's
Yeah.
good to see him actually be able to play
and finish a whole
because
year.
he's fun to watch.
He
Like,
all, you could tell he lost a little bit of the explosiveness, but he still has all the elusiveness. He still makes guys miss all the
you
time.
can always get the explosiveness back too. So.
Yeah, like I mean, I think he really can be one of those guys who is special as
Oh,
long
yeah.
as he stays up, and he
Yeah.
did. He proved everybody wrong, just like he said he would, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for that. I'm really happy for Saquon Barkley, and hopefully, if you have him on your team, he helped you get to the championship.
Yep.
You get him that fantasy ring.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think he's getting that real ring. Sorry, Giants
No.
fans.
No, he ain't getting that fucking. Are you? I feel like they lose out in this playoff.
Not with Daniel Jones. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, not with Dan. He needs some help over there.
They had a better QB, I think. For sure.
Possibly.
Because
He's not even playing that bad though.
No.
he's been all right, but
But
I don't think he's good enough to win.
That's the thing. He's a fucking coach killer.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
it's like he's not losing any games, but you're not winning games, and you can't really move off him because you don't know if the grass is
But he
really
also
greener on
doesn't
the
have
other
a
side.
receiver.
That's true.
True.
Like, I mean, we're talking all this work about Kirk Cousins is great. He started Justin Jefferson.
True, who I
That's
do
true.
He's literally unguardable.
who
like,
I do want to mention at some point, but so we have Saquon Barkley,
Saquon Barkley and James Conner.
James Conner.
he just told me to shut the fuck up. James Conner.
This
Yeah.
guy was
I
left for
really-
dead
I really did
earlier in
not-
the year.
He was.
touchdown dependent, dude.
Brandon was ready to basically give me James Conner for free, and I didn't want to do it early in the year.
Seriously.
And like he is really coming alive for you right now.
He's become a workhorse over the last month and a half, really, because
Yeah, I mean,
beginning of the year he did nothing, and then he was
Yep.
hurt.
10
so-
carries the first week, 7, 13, 15, 9. Missed 3 weeks, 7, and then 21, 14, 25, 15, 16, 15.
Yeah,
Like-
and catching the ball too. He's
Yeah.
getting 7 targets, 5 targets, 8 targets, 5 targets, 5 targets.
He's back
he's-
to what we saw last
He's
year.
back to what we saw last year, and I feel like a lot of teams he was just rotting in like your IR spot for a while, or just on your bench, and he could have been a guy that he started getting hot in week 14. You just pop him right in your flex, and he's just been a playoff fucking hero for you. He's just
Did they sign him or see a free agent at the end of this
No,
year?
they I was just
I
about
thought
to
they
mention
they
this.
gave him
We
a
gotta
contract
remember they
extension, right?
paid him.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
gave him an extension and they paid him to be their running back for the next couple years. They're a team that's actually trying to compete, the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And look, they're the best they can be when they run the ball. I
Yeah.
think it's safe to say Kyler Murray is wildly inconsistent.
wildly.
And he is also at his best when he's running the ball as well. I think they're the best when they're a running team, and Cliff Kingsbury knows that. He missed time this year, and they are still giving him a workhorse type workload.
Yeah.
And I think they believe in him. They paid him. They cut Benjamin. Just everything kind of shows that they just want to go with him.
Yeah.
And Benjamin didn't play bad either.
No.
Not at all. He actually helped win me a week earlier in the year. But no, James Conner's been awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of winning weeks, CeeDee Lamb won me this week against Big B, the
Won
number
me-
one seed
Won
over
me
here.
this week against him.
Like, so I've had CD all year, and he's honestly been pretty great. He's the wide receiver 6 on the year, and for some reason, it just felt like it wasn't that great. Like, I was kind of disappointed throughout the year because I guess I had in my mind that he was supposed to be maybe not Justin Jefferson's doing now, but like consistently
Toby's
like
doing what-
20 every week, like more blow up games.
Yeah, like you would see more 30s.
But I didn't really get that throughout the year. But now in the playoffs, he gave me seven catches on 7 targets for 126 and for 23 points. And then against Philly, 10 catches on 11 targets, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns for 38 points, sending me to my 3rd championship. But also allowing Mark to beat me. So it was kind of a double-edged sword. But I have a chance for more money.
We
so
all have
that's
a chance
That's
to win
fine.
somewhere.
We all have a chance to win somewhere. You're not going to win everything. Got to keep telling myself that. I'm very selfish in fantasy. So, like,
We all
I-
are.
yeah, I think I got to win. I got to win every year, every league, every week. Like, fucking forget it. But
CeeDee Lamb, though, has been a league winner.
he has been a league winner,
Uh,
like
bec-
legitimately.
Because, 22 last week, and then fucking 37 this week, 38, whatever. He honestly won me the week. And there's
Legit.
no way it's just us. He's had to have won other people weeks out there, too.
Has to.
And he's a guy who's you probably took in like the 2nd round.
I did.
And you might have been disappointed a little bit early in the
was.
year. And you might have even traded him. Like
Thought about it.
Tom did. In free agency, and I traded Travis Etienne for him, and I was really pissed off that I did that actually initially.
In the middle of the season, it looked like
I
it
was
it
actually
was a bad
pretty
idea.
upset. And ever since week 10 against Green Bay, when CeeDee Lamb had 40 against them, he's had 2 dud games, but he's been that legit wide receiver 1
Yeah.
Legitimately.
that we thought he could be. And even though he's on the Cowboys, I have really believed in CeeDee Lamb for the past 2 years. Even last year when he was pretty disappointing, I was really, really high on him. And I am happy to see him live up to the potential, at least like what we thought he could be.
Yeah, sometimes we put a little too much stock into the 2nd-year breakout. It's the 3rd year is really where I feel like it starts to kick off for receivers.
I think CeeDee Lamb is a better wide receiver than Dak is a quarterback. If you know what I mean.
I agree.
yeah,
I think
honestly.
CeeDee Lamb is partly the reason
agree.
why Dak has been a hero for
Well,
you.
Dak has had Des Bryant, Amari Cooper, and now CeeDee Lamb, and it's like it's the same. And Zeke Elliott his whole career, and now Tony Pollard. It's like, come on, Dak.
They have
Why
been
don't you do something?
they
pal?
have been great for you. CeeDee Lamb has been Spider-Man for you so far.
Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
and speaking of Spider-Man, how about Batman? Skinny Batman. I know it has nothing to do with Spider-Man, but it was a little related.
Well, I mean, they are both superheroes from cities.
But Devonta Smith, skinny Batman. He's been.
I am excited for him next year, man.
I love him. I love that he's a Philadelphia Eagle. He's been surprisingly like great this year. The last month, 25, 20, 21, 35. Like if you were on the playoff bubble or you just needed that, like you were cold at some point, he has given your team life into the playoffs and maybe carrying you to the championship. Like
Yeah.
these are outstanding numbers. Five catches, 8 targets, 102 yards, touchdown. He had 5 for 64 and a touchdown, 5 for 126 and then 8 for 113 and 2.
These are like wide receiver 1 numbers.
And one of those games was with Gardner Minshew. And he also is playing opposite of A.J. Brown. So, like, that's even more impressive.
I think this is the Eagles' version of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
I'm
You know
not
what?
saying they're better.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think you're
everybody
right.
relax.
I'm
He's
just
probably
saying,
gonna-
I think this
I think you're right. He's
is-
probably going to finish with like 90 receptions.
They both
like
have over
1,100
1,000 yards
yards.
already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I completely agree with it.
Probably 90 catches, 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards.
And it's like Devontae
8
Smith, like
touchdowns.
the Eagles drafted this guy to be their wide receiver 1. They just ended up, A.J. Brown became available, and Howie Roseman jumped on
And
that.
now he has 2. Now there's 2 wide
Yes.
receiver 1s in Philadelphia.
But I
So-
think it's safe to say that Devontae Smith could be the wide receiver 1 if he was alone here.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Well,
honestly, he almost had 1,000 yards in his rookie year.
do you think AJ Brown's helped him though?
Of course.
I think.
I think he
Yeah,
has a
I think
lot.
it's a
A.J.
bit of
Brown's
both.
absolutely.
I think-
Yeah.
Devonta Smith has the ability to be a 1, but AJ Brown's presence is also like
'Cause it
freeing up.
definitely is drawing some attention.
Yeah, like it's got it
You have to pay attention to A.J. Brown.
because you're going to pay attention to AJ Brown over Devonta Smith, even though Devonta Smith's great. AJ Brown's a fucking
Well,
freak of
you-
nature. Like you got to watch out.
You might have to start paying attention to both of them now because this might be a point where for the next couple years in fantasy football, we might have a 1A, 1B situation.
I mean, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
You can't go wrong with either one of them, though.
I mean, it's a passing league now, so
Yeah.
this is going to be happening more often than
I was
not.
about to say, I think
I
we're
mean,
going to
for-
see more of this.
if somebody took, if you took Devontae Smith in the 6th or 7th round, I think you're very, 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 very
You're
happy,
happy.
with that pay.
He's
You have a
easily your
boner.
flex.
yeah.
You have the biggest, fattest, hardest boner ever
Yep.
if he was your 8th round pick.
Well, you know who else gave you a boner was George Kittle.
yeah.
Pure playoff hero. Like CeeDee Lamb and George Kittle.
That being
fucking-
said, still fuck Kyle Shanahan, but
yeah,
no, don't
I-
worry.
I don't
Don't
need
worry.
to- I don't
He's
need to
good.
keep talking
28.
about
No,
him.
no. Now he's doing what George Kittle always does, where he has this 2 to 3 week span where
He
he puts
always
up
does that
monster
shit.
numbers, and then it's going to be 1-5-8, 1-5-2.
No, and it's like
Yep.
George Kittle wasn't even like disappointing. He was abysmal for 3 weeks.
for honestly most of this season, like
He
1,
did
2,
deal with
3.
some injuries. But these past 2 weeks, these past 2 playoff weeks for fantasy football, he has lit it the fuck up for you. Tight end 1 numbers, Travis Kelce numbers. He's lit it up for you.
Like,
4 for
outstanding.
93, 4 for 93 and 2, and then this past week 6 for 120 and 2.
I mean, when you go into the
So-
playoffs and your tight end gets you 31 in the first or 32 in the first round and then 34 in the second, you're most likely moving on to the championship.
Yeah,
at
because
that
that's
point.
going to give you such a big positional advantage. The only guy who even has a chance to match that is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Seriously. And this whole year, George Kittle, 7 games under double-digit points, and he
Dick.
missed the first 2.
Dick.
So, like, overall, he gave you nothing. And I feel like a lot of teams probably traded him for nothing.
Yep.
And whoever stuck with him this long, you're being rewarded because Mr. George Kittle is a fucking playoff hero.
We have to start, like, whenever somebody's ready to give these guys away for free, like, they're
Gotta-
so pissed off at him, I got to start trading for these guys.
Yeah, you got to just pounce on it now. But TJ Hawkinson.
Yes, I was about to bring him up. Another,
He carried me to the championship,
Now,
let me tell you.
I will say, this is what TJ Hawkinson does, too. It's like 10, 8, 7, 50.
And
Like, it's weird, but
honestly, the only reason why he's on this list is because he got 40. Like, he did get 8 in week 1 or
Yeah.
round 1, but when you get
40.
40 from a tight end, you're
you're
a
going to
hero.
win more often than not.
You're a hero.
He's broken 20 twice,
Like,
and
what
both
the
times he
fuck?
scored 42.
He's just a weird player, TJ Hawkinson.
really
Because
is.
like he's been in the league long enough where I feel like we have a big enough sample size of this. He's a weird fucking player.
He looks like a barbarian, and he just like he disappears, and then he's Tony Gonzalez some
Legit.
days, and it's like I don't know, but I love him right
Wow.
now. He's delivered for me. He's been a playoff hero, and I've been happy.
And he was also a guy you got in a trade.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
you probably could have traded for him for pretty cheap in the middle of the year.
and it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I traded. It was Rashad White, which was pre. I mean, he hasn't been a league winner
No.
like we thought, but it was pre Leonard Fournette injury
Yep.
at the time, and I also traded Gerald Everett for just TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah,
And
and
it was like,
40 in the semifinals.
yeah, and then next week he got traded to Minnesota, which was the best fucking thing.
If
that
TJ
could've
Hawkinson
happened.
has 10, you lose. You're out.
Seriously, no,
Yeah.
dead ass.
Like if he doesn't have 40, you're out. Big B wins.
If him or CD don't have 40, I'm out.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I won.
But
So we also have some zeros.
zeros. Let me tell you
Hey,
about
wait
this
a
fucking
minute.
zero.
You missed a name, dude.
Who?
Which one?
What happened to the QBs?
We just talked
We
about
did the
him.
QBs.
When did you do the Q? When the?
Do you not remember talking about
I
Kirk
thought Joe
Cousins
Burrow
today?
was.
We
I remember
talked
talking
about
about it, but I
Kirk
thought
Cousins.
Burrow
We,
was on the
no,
list.
we
Did we
took-
scrap him last minute?
We did
Yeah,
scrap Joe
we,
Burrow.
no, we took out Burrow because
He's kind of been doing it all year.
yeah, like you expect Burrow.
Throw
To,
back to episode 3 when I was like, I don't know, guys, I'm kind of worried. QB4. QB4. Fucking 34 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. Fuck me.
Before we move on to zeros, though, there's one more hero that I want to talk about, just real quick. The fantasy MVP this year,
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, you
Justin
mean
Jefferson.
God?
Justin
Yeah,
Jefferson.
God.
You mean God?
Like, I mean, I almost didn't want to include him, which is why we kind of just saved him for the end. But I
I'm
feel
about
like
to
we
just
just
leave
need
him
to,
in. I'm about to just leave him in on his bye weeks from now on.
like
Might as well.
Like, he
Yeah,
never
like-
leaves the lineup. He always
I
starts.
just think we need to mention just how fucking insane Justin Jefferson has been. Like the clear wide receiver one. He's honestly been the best player in fantasy.
He should
this
be
year.
the first He should be the first overall pick in every fucking league next year.
He should be the
I
first
believe
pick
You can't make an argument for running backs anymore after this. I'm sorry, I can't.
until he's dead. He should be the first pick.
You said this earlier before
Like,
we started
until
Until
recording.
you're dead
but-
or he's dead.
Yeah,
He's-
until
you
You
gotta
said
start
this
him.
earlier before we started recording, but you're right. He could be the next Antonio Brown.
I think he
with
is.
the way how
No,
he
dead
just
ass.
was in fantasy,
Where
with
he-
all those years where he was just dominant.
He just dominates every single game. He's in a pass-happy offense now on a good team. I just see potential for him dominating and finishing in the top 3 year after year after year. And he's young.
Like-
still, like, I could see this guy dominating, barring injury, for like the next 7 years.
Dude, week 1 is 42. Then it goes 10-4. And it's like, all right, maybe they're just not that good. 33, 32, 19, 15, 28, 38, 6, 31, 18, 38, 33, 34.
Like, I just want to let you know he's had 2 weeks non-double-digit points, 1 week with 10 points. Besides that, his worst game all year was 15. And that was his worst game. In the past 5 weeks, he has had 34 of those 5 weeks.
fucking insane.
Without him, I'm a first-round exit in
Yeah.
in the free agency league. He is the reason why I'm in the final.
I'm so glad I took him in TJ.
I'm so glad I took him in the first
so
round.
glad I took him in TJ.
He
He gave
should,
you a chance.
He should
He
go
did.
in the top 3 every year. He should be the first pick.
Nah,
every
he should
year,
be the first pick.
in
I'm
my
sorry.
opinion.
At this point, after what he did last year, and now he's just got better this year. I think he's got to be.
the
he's-
trajectory is
I
just
can't
through
take
the
a running
roof.
back anymore.
He's
I
on
can't.
pace
After
to-
Jonathan Taylor doing dick, and then Josh Jacobs coming out of nowhere and
He
just
already-
being the number 1 running back.
He already broke Randy Moss's record.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
Dude.
can't.
like. He's
You know-
on pace.
You know what's crazy? The top 6 seasons or receiving seasons in Vikings history: Randy Moss 3, Justin Jefferson 3.
Like,
But the fucked up thing
he's-
is,
Justin Jefferson's 20,
this
24.
is his 3rd year.
He's insane, dude.
He might be
He's
And he already
three.
is. He's already top 3.
nuts. You were right. You were 100% right about him. You said it all last year in the offseason. You were 100%
I wanted him so.
right.
I wanted him
I'm
in
so
every
glad
league.
I stole your fucking guy.
I wanted him in
I'm
every
so
single league I was
glad.
in. I wanted him in every single. He was gonna. He's the only player. If I was able to, I would have drafted him with my first pick in every single league that I was in.
I was so heavy
Like, I-
on CMC going into the draft. And then last second, I said, fuck. And I just put up Jefferson.
Fuck. Just
Last second, I said, fuck it. And I just put up Jefferson.
Just absolute insanity. I think he's gonna be the first wide receiver to get actual legit most valuable player consideration. Because I don't think Kirk Cousins has been good enough on his own to
Oh,
warrant
without a
the
doubt.
MVP. But I think Justin Jefferson absolutely has. And as amazing as Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes have been, Jalen Hurts has missed a game now, and Mahomes has thrown a pretty good amount of interceptions.
17.
So I seriously think Justin Jefferson will get MVP votes
I might be
this
hammered.
year.
I think
I
some
might-
people
I
will
might
give
be
it to him.
hammered.
I think he will be the first receiver to actually have a legit chance to win the MVP.
11.
Well-
He's thrown 11 interceptions.
You know who
Fuck, did I
doesn't
get
have a
17
chance to win the MVP?
Some of our zeros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. fucking Justin Herbert, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, I depended on you, and you failed. This motherfucker's going to the championship now. I just needed, like, something out of you, dog, and you gave me dick. Like, I've defended you all year. I've stuck by you. I started you every fucking week. I could have played, like, Marcus Mariota because that was my only option. And a lot of weeks, Marcus did better than you, and you fucking fucked me. I squeaked by in round 1 against a fucking 6 seed, and then you can't even do dick in round 2. I gave you a second chance, and you fucking blew it. Ugh. So he's a 0.
Putrid.
Putrid, dude.
Not even mid.
Like
just awful.
P.U., dude.
Just horrible, man.
Yeah, he was abysmal this year.
I mean, fuck off.
And Keenan Allen was phenomenal.
And he was phenomenal. I needed...
You just need 15.
You fucking pussy, dude. He had 8 last week against the Titans and then 4 against the fucking Colts.
We liked him going into the playoffs,
Loved
too.
him.
And just dick.
Dick.
You lost if you had him. More than likely.
I did. I did. Oh, I think I could be a dynasty with this team. Fucking blow me, dude. Fucking San Diego quarterbacks.
Chargers quarterbacks.
Not even San Diego. It's fucking
The
whatever.
Los Angeles San Diego
Whatever.
Chargers.
You know what? Why don't fucking put Justin Herbert at Skid Row? Leave him there. Fucking whatever. I had to get that out.
Yeah, you're good, man. We get it. It's okay.
Justin Fields, though.
Justin Fields as well.
Oh, my goodness.
Just 2 bad Justins.
2 bad
So
Justins.
Fields actually was pretty solid last week against the Eagles. He did have 23,
but
9 this week.
that's a losing week.
And if you picked him up, I'm going to assume you needed a quarterback going into the playoffs. Because I feel like that's the only reason why you would have spent waiver money on him or used a pickup slot on him. Use your waiver order to get him.
He kind of started going off towards the middle of the year, the midway point. So people went all in on him, and he was a fantasy MVP at that point. He was hot going in. He carried teams to the playoffs.
I do think he's going to have a good week this week because it is Detroit.
That is
And
true.
I think he'll be okay this week. I think he'll get 20, 30
Detroit
points.
is such a weird fucking team.
That's the
though.
thing. But it's this year, as of right now, yeah, I'd say he's a 0. I mean,
well, for what he gave you
for
this
what he
week.
gave you, yeah.
Because if you had Justin Fields and he gave you 9, you better hope the rest of your you had CeeDee Lamb and
you
George
needed
Kittle.
your team to go off.
You needed the rest because when you get that big of a dud from your quarterback, because mostly an average game is 15 to 17 points out of
Yeah.
quarterback.
But 9.
But under double digits,
Ugh.
that is awful. I had Brady. Brady, dude, dog.
Well,
He had 0 going into the 4th.
Brady could be another 0 low key.
He's definitely a 0, but he's been a 0 most of the year, honestly.
Just mid.
I think the divorce has kind of been.
I don't know if he's probably because he's been going through some shit, but he's just been a shell
I think
this
that.
year.
I think that.
It's.
I think that's what it is. I think that fucked him up.
Any man that goes through a divorce,
He
it's-
pretty much
So-
lost his family. Did you see the interview after the game the other day? Bro, he just looked like a broken man.
He might just be. I mean, maybe it's weighing on his shoulders at this point.
It could be.
But this next player, I've honestly almost never seen a turnaround so drastic in fantasy from being the running back 1 from falling all the way to the running back 7 now since week 12. Nick Chubb has been awful.
Fuck you, Dean.
Actually awful. Not even good.
I'm surprised Dave even won with Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I'm playing against Nick Chubb this
You
week.
almost think something's got to give with Nick Chubb because
30
Abysmal.
this week.
the work has
Against
been
me.
there the past 2, but it's
Oh,
just.
he's playing Washington.
But here's the problem.
I'm so sorry.
Look,
They're actually 4th
I
against
know.
Rams.
still though, Nick Chubb has the same problems that we've always known he's had. They don't throw him the ball.
They don't throw him, and
He's just
And-
not that fantasy efficient.
And it's just if Nick Chubb isn't being hyper efficient with it, which he's so incredible at.
Yeah.
If he's not running for 20, 30-yard touchdowns, because they have some kind of boner for taking him out in the goal line too, a lot of the time.
Kareem Hunt.
Which I just don't get at all. But at the same
He's
time,
leaving in the offseason anyway. It doesn't matter.
I just think Nick Chubb could be way better than he is.
he could have been. Well,
And-
look at this week or the past 2 weeks.
24 carries, 21 carries.
But he had 99 yards and then 92 yards and then 0 scores in both weeks.
But
because think
No
about
catches, 1 catch.
Yeah.
that. Like, well, if he hits that 100-yard bonus and scores, like, then it's a different story. But
Literally,
he just didn't
had
come through for you,
from
so he's
week
been a
one-
0.
From week 1, he had 1 reception, 3 catches, none, 2, none, 1,
They
2,
just don't do it.
1.
It's just the
Like-
problem with him. And it's like, this isn't like Derrick Henry where it doesn't really matter because it's just 100 touches a game.
Yeah.
So, but
Like, even if you give
like-
him, like, 5.
that's what I was about to
Like,
say.
if
So
you just give him, like, 5 targets.
this week, 24 carries, 92 yards, no touchdowns, 1 catch, 11 points. Add 5 or 6 catches at 17 points.
That's what I'm
a
saying.
respectable game.
Yeah.
But
Like-
instead, he's a dud. Like,
NFL-wise, he's a probably he's top 3, top 4 talent.
Yeah,
Running back-wise.
seriously.
Just
No, he
fantasy-wise,
is.
he's just not
last week,
efficient.
you add 6 dump offs, he's at 16 points.
Exactly.
Like, it's like these are way more respectable. Now, his weeks where he went off every single week, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. So, like, these are all the games where he cracked 20 points.
I do
So
think
He had one he's honestly touchdown dependent.
I do think next year, like I know we're fast forwarding a lot, but I do think next year he will probably see more of that reception production because I do think Kareem Hunt's going to wind up leaving.
He's just got to go
So
somewhere.
I think that's what it is
He
because that's
shouldn't
what's
even be in
killing
the
him,
NFL
is that they're
anymore.
bringing in Kareem Hunt. He's getting all the targets and all this shit. Because I think it was like for the first 4 or 5 weeks, Nick Chubb was getting all the rushing, but Kareem Hunt was getting the same amount of points because they were giving him all the receiving workload.
I don't
Yeah.
even think
And
Kareem
that's
Hunt
why it
should
was
be a
like-
factor in the game plan, to tell you the truth. Not
But
anymore.
that's the problem is you don't need that. Like you have Nick Chubb. Like he's literally a top 4 running back in the NFL. Just use him.
He might be the best, just based off pure talent and
Oh,
ability.
if they use
alone.
him in the receiving game, absolutely he would be the best running back in the
Like-
league. I'm convinced. Derrick Henry, well, actually, if Derrick Henry, I can you make the same argument for Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry caught, he'd be
Yeah.
the best by not
Well,
even.
we're saying
far.
this because we're fantasy players.
Yeah.
Like, coaches don't give a fuck. See, like, they'll let Kareem Hunt go, and they'll bring in some fuckwad off the street,
Yeah.
and he'll catch 20 balls.
Like I'm convinced the Titans, you could literally place a brick wall, like a literal brick wall in front of the Titans O line, and their coach would just go, "Nah, run it.
Run it.
Just give it to Henry anyway."
You know who hasn't been running, though? Josh Jacobs.
He's been back.
Wow, it's almost like he's bad.
He's been back to his mid self.
Like, just blowing the minds of all of us for, like, a solid 2
I
months.
literally couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it. Carried teams to the playoffs, but then once they got to the playoffs, now he did play New England and Pittsburgh, but 22 for 93, just 12 points, and then 15 for 44 for 5 points. Like, that's
That's the Josh Jacobs we know
like
and love.
he was probably your RB1, like probably one of your best players, like he's been most of this year, and he just fucking gave you a dud.
Mid
Couple
both
done.
weeks.
Terrible and then mid.
And to be honest, it sucks because you probably got a steal with Josh Jacobs
And
Yeah.
in your draft.
and he carried you to the playoffs, and then
He carried you right out of it.
But
Yeah.
you know what? If the rest of your team is really strong, you might still be in the finals.
Yeah.
So he hasn't exactly destroyed you. Like last week, 12. Like at least he didn't murder you. Like
Yeah.
especially if the rest of your team is this week he killed you.
mhm,
And championship week he does play the 49ers. That's a tough game.
that is tough.
So we will see what happens. I think I'm playing against him, so 65 more than likely.
Yeah,
But
300.
87.
best game
Yeah.
of all time. But we'll have to see with
6
Josh Jacobs.
touchdowns.
Let's see if he'll have 280 yards rushing again. However
Yeah.
many yards he had, like the fucking Madden creative
Breaking
player run
Daniel
he was on.
Tomlinson's record. 250 yards, 6 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or 6 rushing touchdowns.
And another guy that hasn't didn't murder you for 1 week, but then was terrible the next, just like Josh Jacobs, Christian Kirk. He had just 15 in round 1, and then 5 in round 2. Like that's for being a top 15 receiver. He's probably a guy that you got late, and he's been helpful for you for most of the year, and just didn't come through in the playoffs.
To be honest,
It's because all the fucking targets are going to Evan Ingram now for no reason
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I get
like-
he's just
Like holy
Gronk.
shit.
I guess it's
Just
just
Gronk
one of
now.
those things where Trevor Lawrence threw it and was like, "Oh wait, he can't catch." And then
And
that
they
was
go.
it. Like that was it. He was like, "Oh shit, you can do that," and then that's it. Now it's
Oh.
just hyper target. Like
Trevor Lawrence is a guy we almost put on the hero list, but he just missed a cut.
Yeah.
He's been pretty amazing too, and I think that, but it's pretty concerning that Christian Kirk has still been pretty bad. And
Yeah,
this
like,
has been a 5-week stretch.
yeah, and
where he's been
that's why he's
bad.
kind of a zero, because it's just 8. He had 20, but then 9, 15, and 5. Like after the start to the year, and he was top 10 up until a certain point, and he just kind of really fell off here, and he didn't help you in the playoffs at all. And I
No.
know a lot of playoff teams that had Christian Kirk because he was a steal in drafts. That's the thing. When you have guys that are steals like Josh Jacobs and Christian Kirk, you're going to be a playoff team
Yeah.
if you have
Yeah.
any kind of talent around that. So, and somebody else that is really talented but hasn't come through is Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Because,
Zach Wilson.
and I'm not going to blame him. It's not his fault.
No,
it's Zach Wilson.
It's,
Wait,
the
just-
other
just-
Wilson
just-
on
Just
the Jets.
keep Mike White in.
He was hurt.
I don't care.
I don't
Play him anyway.
I don't give a shit.
put him on crutches and make him throw.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Zach. Well, I have a friend who's a Jets fan, and he's like, Wilson stinks every time I see him.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly how he says it too. He's like, yeah, guy stinks.
And the shitty part
Fucking
is
guy.
he's had great playoff matchups in round 1 and round 2 and round 3. He had Detroit, Jacksonville, and he has Seattle in championship week. But against Detroit, he only gets 13, who's one of the worst passing defenses. Same thing with Jacksonville, one of the worst passing defenses, and he only gets 5. But I'm not going to blame him because Zach Wilson fucking reeks, dude. Like he's
Wait,
just-
we've seen it.
sucks.
He can do it. Not Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson. Like, he can do it.
Oh, we know
He's-
Garrett Wilson can do it.
Yeah,
he just hasn't done it
needs-
for you. in
I
the
am gonna
playoffs
be
yet.
all over Garrett Wilson next year.
Oh,
If
100%.
they have any quarterback,
100%.
Man, I'm gonna be all.
100%.
anybody but Zach Wilson.
He's gonna get drafted way too high and be a bust.
yeah,
because he's on the Jets.
yeah.
No, they might just take a
Um,
quarterback next year because there's a
now
lot
that-
coming out of
This
draft
guy's
class.
not on this list,
Hey.
but I just want to mention
Oh,
real
fuck
quick.
out.
Devontae Adams has been fucking horrible
Fuck him.
the past 2 weeks.
Oh.
Fuck him.
Like actually.
Yeah, but
Holy
again,
shit.
it's not him.
Like-
It's not him. I'm sorry. Derek Carr fucking sucks. Dude.
I think he's bad, but
Like, Derek Carr is
Um,
terrible, and then he goes through this whole thing where he sucks, plays like trash, goes into a press conference, cries because he's so passionate. Fans are like, "Oh my God, we love you."
He's kinda-
He comes out, plays mid, and then the cycle repeats.
Brian was talking about this earlier. How like he's kind of like a coach's nightmare, Derek Carr,
Coach
like,
killer.
because like he really doesn't like lose you the game all the time, but he doesn't win
Win
enough. And then
you.
like he's a nice guy, and like
And
he's a
then-
good personality, and like you want to root for
The
him.
grass
and, like,
isn't always greener.
he has good
And his
games every
stats
once in a
aren't
while.
bad either.
And like at the end of the year, like his stats aren't really like that
Like
ugly.
so
but
you can't really move on from
like
him.
I just don't think he's that
You think
good.
they just call the coaching staff in with Derek Carr and they just sit him down around a round table with like the little fucking spotlight on him to interrogate him and just go, "Dude,
Dude,
anything,
But
anything.
no,
dog.
anything,
Devontae Adams
bro."
has been fucking horrendous.
Yeah,
I
he's a
am
complete zero.
Actual
dude.
complete zero, like 6 points and 3 points.
Like,
Horrible. And it's like he was probably your first round pick.
and he's the number 3 receiver on the year.
yeah. And
He carries you to the playoffs.
and Dave is somehow still in the finals
He got
too.
zeros
From Nick Chubb and Devontae Adams.
and Devontae Adams.
And he beat Joe. Fuck Joe. Can't even win like that.
Oh man.
But I know
Oh,
he's
and
gonna
he
have
goes
50 from
against
some dumb
San
players.
And
Fran
another-
next week.
and another player Joe had, Mark Andrews,
Yeah.
who's a complete zero.
Complete
a
dud.
fall from grace.
Not even like just in the playoffs, because he's definitely because you just had to play him because he's Mark Andrews. But he's been a zero all fucking year long, and especially in the playoffs. Like
Well,
just nothing, man. Except
And
for the beginning
actually-
of the year. And then outside of that, just I know Lamar's been hurt, but even with Lamar in, he
That
gave
actually
you fucking nothing.
leads me to a question I wanted to ask you guys.
What?
So if you guys are like in a big league, you're like fucked at quarterback. Like, I mean, fucked. Jalen Hurts is out. Tua, may God rest his career because I think he's done after he just got another concussion.
Possibly.
Fuck the Dolphins.
Fuck them.
But would you actually start Baker Mayfield?
Well, who are
Like,
the other
if you
options?
have no quarterback.
Gotta be a 2-quarterback league. And I gotta be
Is it a
desperate.
2-quarterback?
No. It's
It-
like
like
Jalen Hurts is dead and your backup QB was Tua, and there's nobody on waivers.
there's just gotta be someone better.
Like,
if it's a one
it's
quarterback
Baker
league,
Mayfield
no,
or
but
like
there's just
Aaron
gotta be
Rodgers.
like there's gotta be someone. But like if it's a one
Gotta
quarterback
be.
league, there just has to be a better option.
There has to be.
Like so, there's no way. Like someone has to have Jared Goff out there somewhere. Like
I don't know,
there's
dude, he's been snapping the last few weeks.
he has been, but like most people don't keep 2 quarterbacks on their team.
Yeah, but then again, you have those players or you have those guys that play where they're like, oh, I'm just gonna hoard quarterbacks. for the fuck.
Yeah, like Joe's done that too.
Yeah, that's what
also,
I'm saying.
fuck you,
Like-
Joe. Like actually, like seriously. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, man.
So
We say all this, and Baker Mayfield will come out next year and he'll
50,
win fucking MVP.
450.
Matt Stafford will retire.
I'm talking all this shit.
Don't
Joe's
stick
gonna
with Baker
smoke
Mayfield.
me because I'm talking all this shit.
Career revived.
So we have
I mean,
Mark.
to be fair, that's probably the best place for him to have gone
Probably.
under Sean McVay, and he has
Probably.
Cooper Cup.
We'll see.
Next year, yeah,
We'll see.
maybe if
I
Matt
really do
Stafford,
think Stafford's going to retire.
he might.
I
'cause
really
he's-
do. I think it's what does he have at this point?
Deal
You
with-
got your ring. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
dealing with a lot of injuries, and he looked bad.
Yeah.
when he played.
Well, you know who didn't give you a ring? Fucking Dalton Schultz. And the
Fuck. Well, actually, I can't say fuck him because I had George Kittle.
within the tight end landscape, 3 and
No,
7.
he's a Cowboy. Fuck him.
Fuck him. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He has been a fucking zero, unlike Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, but I don't have him anywhere, and I'm glad. But
Yeah, I don't even think there's much to say about Dalton
Yeah, he
Schultz. He's
just
just been
stunk.
abysmal.
been abysmal.
For
Yeah,
most
he had
of the
that,
year.
He had that nice little stretch where he was doing okay.
And I feel like
Nah,
there's
he's shit.
probably other guys out there like, who can I start? You know?
Yeah, like
So I'll start Dalton Schultz, and then he gave you nothing in the playoffs.
I rather would have picked up Evan Ingram any day of the week.
No, he's
Yeah.
he's a hero, absolutely.
We almost put him on the hero list.
Yeah.
Or did we?
Who?
We didn't.
We
He
didn't put
make
Evan
it.
Ingram on the hero list.
He's
right?
a tight end
He's
5.
definitely no. He's a hero.
He is a hero too. There's a lot of Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence could have been a hero for
The
sure.
whole Jags team
I'm
is
telling
just
you,
full
dude,
of heroes.
it's
Besides
like
Christian Kirk.
especially
I'm
Doug Peterson.
convinced that Trevor Lawrence just threw it to him in Detroit. He was like, I'm going to do this more.
He's like,
And that
oh,
was
you
it.
can do that.
I was like,
You
oh, I can do this?
He's like, oh, look.
It's like when you find a play that always works in Madden, you're like, oh,
oh,
I'll just keep running it, and then you just
And they've been targeting him. Like, he had 7 targets against Detroit. And then after that, 15 for 162 and 2 touchdowns. 10, 8. Like, he's getting the targets now. So this makes it interesting for next year.
it does.
Because if you know, Doug Peterson was the coach when Zach Ertz broke the reception record. So
Ooh.
could get spicy.
Another
but
Fresno take from Tim.
Fresno take.
I don't really think that one's that spicy though.
No, it's not that spicy.
Because Doug
Yeah,
Peterson's offense, they use tight ends. And I really think it was one of those things where they really just might have been like, all right, you've been spotty. You never really did it when you were on the Giants. And then it was one of those things where it's like, all right, we trust you now. He had that 162-point game, and from there it's been 162 yards with the 2 touchdowns, and it was gone from there.
Well,
So-
if you had these heroes, we'll more than likely see you in championship week.
Yeah.
If you have these zeros, sorry, you're probably on the
You're
couch.
probably on the couch.
Just like me. Justin Jefferson wasted away.
So
hopefully everyone, these 7 people listening, made it to the championship.
hopefully, we have some business to finish.
Yeah.
We do. We will revisit this after championship week, and we will see how the season has closed.
Time for the dance.
Time for the
for the
dance,
dance.
and it's time for us to get out of here. So thank you, buds, for listening, and we'll catch you in championship week.
Good luck.
Good luck.